David Hinkson.
An inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To decline this call, hang up.
Hello, David.
Anybody home?
I'm home.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, we just got home, and I was going to go test a new welder that I got. I'm trying to fix some stuff around the house. I'm always working on something around here.
You're a welder?
No, but I'm trying to learn how. I just picked up a cheap one, and I'm fixing to do some, test welds to get familiar with the process.
I'm certified. I was a certified welder.
Really? Well, help me. There's all these different types. You got stick and MIG and TIG, and I don't know nothing about nothing. I mean, for a new guy like me, you got flux core. What do you think, like a new guy that just wants to? I had
a Lincoln, a TIG, MIG. I had everything. Wire feed, you know.
Okay.
Those are the nice ones.
Cool.
I paid $2,500 for it. I think it burned in the fire, though.
Oh no, that's terrible.
I can't go back to Idaho. I'm too terrorized, and I'm not really feeling very safe in this country even.
I understand. It probably would be good for you to get out of the country if once you get out.
I was talking to Jeremiah a minute ago, a little kid there that works on my projects, and he got a coil to make free electricity. One of my inventions that we don't talk about. He calls it a Hinkson coil, but it basically he just built a little toy on the workbench and it made 10 free watts.
That's cool.
No moving parts, just
Wow, that's very cool.
So that's kind of exciting. Dennis wants to build it, and we're going to let him. He's got a place that builds transformers in San Francisco, and Dennis is going to order it according to the specifications.
Very cool. You know, Guy called me earlier today, and so I'm going to try to talk to him. I called him back, but, he must have got busy, and we didn't get a chance to sync up, but I'm sure we will.
Yeah, he's excited he wants to make a deal to help market the copper and stuff. Remember, my montage was to sell it as cheap as possible and still make money, because I was trying to help people.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff I was selling, like I had frankincense and myrrh, stuff that Jesus got from the wise men. I had everything. But really, the mission right now is to focus on the things that really, might make a disease go away. It's really exciting. Do you know that there's a fountain of youth mineral, in my opinion? It's indium. It's element 49 on the periodic table, INDIUM. And when you consume indium, it balances your pituitary gland and fixes all your hormones.
Nice.
And that's really interesting. Yeah, because, I don't know if you believe in kinesiology, but there's some people that are pretty good at it, I can't do it personally. I don't have the ability.
I've never even heard the word. I've never even heard the word before. Can you spell that again? How do you spell that?
Kinesiology, KNIESOL. It means muscle testing. A lot of naturopathy doctors use that to test how much a dose to give of something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the study of mechanics of body movements. Interesting. You always got some interesting stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, here's the thing about the indium. I always OD'd on everything. I wanted to see if there's any negative side effects. I had a black woman sitting on the plane next to me, and I was telling her all about the indium. I had a woman that was, 50 pounds overweight. She drank some indium. She didn't get hungry for a week. She just didn't eat for a week and never got hungry, never got dizzy, and she just lost 10 pounds in 1 week, I mean, she just didn't eat anything. Yeah, she drank water and juice, but nothing, she just didn't eat. And when she put the food in her mouth, she got instantly hungry and felt really, really good, But the point was, when you take a little more indium than you're supposed to, you get this euphoric feeling like you're just happy. It's like, oh my goodness, it's kind of like you drank a glass of red wine, you get that little buzz going.
Yeah. I'm looking up YouTube now.
Yeah, the other companies that sell indium are selling poisonous stuff.
Yeah.
We have real indium. Anyway, it only takes 2 ounces to make a dose. So, you know, a person could pay $1 for postage and handling. We could send them, you know, it's like a 4-ounce bottle of that. You know, because it costs $1 to mail it. You break even.
Yeah.
You see my point?
Yeah.
But so she said, I wish I could try some of that indium. Well, I stood up, got my carry-on, handed her the bottle, and she went ahead and drank it. We were coming into the Chicago airport, you know.
Yeah.
And about a half hour later, right before the plane lands, she looks at me and she says, I feel the buzz. This stuff's amazing. I got to have more of this.
Incredible. You know, it looks like people chew it as some sort of gum. It says metal that you can chew, so I guess people chew it or something. I don't know.
Well, these people that are selling it these people that are selling indium supplements in the past were buying indium sulfate, if you read the fine print. And if you do your homework, you'll find that indium sulfate is poisonous. It comes with a skull and a crossbones on the bottle. It's absolutely poisonous.
I see.
And so, you know, yeah, none of the stuff I make is toxic.
Very cool.
I don't want. If you swallow something that's poisonous, it affects your liver. Now, there's a product that I give a lot of talk shows on medicine. But there was a product that a Czechoslovakians invented called alpha lipoic acid. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Well, the government here won't let you make any claims about things. But it's my understanding that if you're dying of cirrhosis of the liver and you take a bottle of alpha lipoic acid pill.
This call is from a federal prison.
In a 30, more than the label says, of course, but in 30 days it'll give you a brand new liver.
Now, you're going to have to help me spell that again, because that's such a crazy word. How do you spell alpha lipoic?
ALPHA.
Yeah.
Lipoic. LOPIC, I believe. Lipoic.
Oh yeah, I found it. Yeah, okay. So alpha lipoic acid. I'll have to check that out too. Hey, I did have another question. Not to take you off of these. You always got incredible things to talk about. It's absolutely amazing, David. But I don't mean to dig into Ted Gunderson's dirty laundry. But before I talked to you, I always thought of Ted Gunderson as somebody who came out and spoke against chemtrails. He was very high up in the FBI. He blew the whistle on satanic ritual abuse. But when you talk about him as if he's a devil. Is there anything that we should know about Ted Gunderson? Because I never knew the man. I just know what I saw on YouTube. So,
well, he went around cheating little old ladies, and he was retired from the FBI. I met him because he was on my talk show, but he decided he wanted my income and cash flow, and he's the one that invited me to the Granada Forum to come speak. And Anthony Hilder picked me up. And Anthony Hilder announced that, he did the, presentation where here's David Hinkson, to talk about these minerals. But Anthony Hilder was part of the setup. This whole thing, when they invited me down to California and had me speak at the Granada Forum, it was so they could set me up. And this Bates woman and this J.C. Harding guy were in the audience. Of course, there was 300 people there, and I never really met Harding or Bates. I mean, you meet 300 people, you don't remember all of them individually,
Right.
But Harding and Bates showed up with Anthony Hilder in Idaho. Now, that's a little ways out of their way. But this Grover guy, the one that picked me up for the Granada Forum, Harding said that he was my best friend. Well, he's a black guy that drives a limo, and he's he's a rat. He works with Gunderson,
Yeah.
But that whole Anthony Hilder Gunderson thing is really, really, really dirty. Gunderson is not a good guy. Absolutely, he's a monster. And you have people like George Norrie talking nice about Mr. Gunderson. And when my father handed his book to George Norrie, he set it down and just walked away. There's a lot of people that really don't like me. For instance, Joe Wallach, you heard that name, right?
Yeah. I've heard of Joe Wallach.
He hates my guts.
Why would he hate you?
Yeah, because he's selling heavy metal toxic brew.
Gotcha.
And I was invited to speak at the what do they call it, naturopathy meeting in Vegas, where all the doctors of naturopathy come once a year. It's usually about November, I believe. and I was a speaker, and Wallach was a speaker before me. And when Wallach saw that I was giving the speech about heavy metals versus, quality minerals, he packed his bags and left, and I got his speaking spot.
Wow.
So he wasn't like the guy I told you about yesterday, who was really open-minded and trying to learn the truth. You cannot swallow heavy metal. If you take copper and drink copper that's made wrong, it will hurt you. You will die. You will get this disease called Wilson's disease. It is not good.
Well, it's one thing. It's one thing to disagree with somebody. Like, Joe Wallach might have a professional disagreement with you, and you each have your own belief systems on how to treat human sickness and stuff like that. But it's another thing to abandon somebody who's been illegally set up by the government to rot in prison their whole life. I mean, it also, while you were talking, I looked up Anthony Hilder, Ted Gunderson. I'm seeing names like Jordan Maxwell. I guess they've all been on InfoWars. I didn't realize.
Those are all people that were on my talk show, but I'm still friends with Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell, I never had a problem with him. He's a good guy. Yeah,
gotcha. But Anthony Hilder.
I wish I could get in touch with Mr. Maxwell. I wanted to meet Mr. Maxwell and reach him, but since all the time I've been here, I've never gotten a letter from him or been able to reach him in any way.
Incredible. I mean, obviously you were very popular. One of the things that's amazing to me, because I'm just a regular guy in Texas, right? I got very simple life. You were so popular. You had a huge business, and yet you've been in prison 15 years and hardly anybody knows about you. It's just shocking to me how, I guess
this call is from a federal prison.
I got no press at all, I don't think, when they overturned my win. The only thing I got press on was, he won. Then all of a sudden you don't hear anything. And Wesley Hoyt, he sent me a lecture that he gave in the Mormon chapel to the other fellow Mormons about how he was trying to save this political prisoner named Hinkson. So it seems to me that Wesley, he got this $2,500 a week for 12 years, and he made sure that I stayed out of the limelight. I think he made sure that I got no press.
Yeah.
And so they used my money against me every step of the way.
Yeah, I guess if you got a golden goose, just keep it in the back and don't tell anybody, and let the golden goose keep laying his leg, and don't make sure nobody finds out about it.
If you look for that name, Arlene Olson, and if you could find her, she's the one that did that video deposition against Gunderson and the meeting with Lodge and all these other people, and Tolman. She had the goods on Gunderson.
Yeah. I've tried to find Arlene Olson, but I can't find anything on her. Can you give me any more information on her to help me find her specifically, or?
I just know her name was Arlene Olson.
Yeah.
And she ended up staying with Don Harkins up there, and she's probably dead. It's been so many years.
Yeah.
But I had Stu Webb. Stu Webb asked Hoyt for that video deposition, and Hoyt said, "What deposition?" Really?
Yeah, incredible.
Hoyt denies it ever happened.
Wow. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
You're welcome to talk to my father. He's friendly, even though we've had disagreements in the past, and he knows the whole story. And I'll give you his number if you want to talk to him.
Sure. I don't mind having his number. Typically, because there's a lot of drama, a lot of personalities. I mean, I don't typically. I get along with everybody normally, but I've just gotten so used to people not wanting to talk to me. But yeah, give me his number. I'll talk to him. Okay. Yep. 970. Got it.
See, his problem was, I think Wesley Hoyt had him brainwashed. Wesley Hoyt had him not make the mortgage payment. I only owed $180 on a $1 million factory. And by putting it in foreclosure, the employees were going to buy up my property at the auction, and they'd already stolen enough money to buy my own property with my stolen money. And this is my dad's business plan. And I was screaming, "Stop, don't do this," every step of the way. And they did it anyway. And so that's when I fired Wesley and Roland, and I ran them all off. And then a few days later, they firebombed the factory.
That's heartbreaking that your father would be involved with something like that, and that's why I don't think he probably is going to.
His excuse was he had no choice because Wesley convinced him that the IRS was never going to leave me alone.
Yeah.
but it'd been 12 years, you know.
Right, they would have already got it if they were going to get it, I guess.
That's what I kept saying.
Yeah.
You can't use logic on Roland. He'll never see it any other way. So stay away from that subject.
Yeah, I understand.
But he does a good interview. He's got a master's degree in English.
Okay. Oh, very good. Cut him off.